Alright guys, so in this video I'm going to show you guys how to upload tests, set up your tests so that they're random questions, time frames, stuff like that. The first thing you want to do is go to your textbook, software, whatever it is. They should have a question bank set in there. This one here is mine. I'll bring it up real quick. Typically in this software you can actually build your tests. You can select what questions you want from what chapters, stuff like that. Um, for the most part, I don't edit any of my questions inside the software. I do it on Canvas because I typically add questions, stuff like that as well. So for now, I'll just kind of quickly buzz through and select a few just to show you how to upload them. Um, my software, I have to start a new exam to select the questions I want and pick a few of them here. That ought to be good. All right. First thing you want to do is export these. I always export to QTI just because it seems to work every single time. I'm sure there's other stuff. It probably depends a lot on whatever software your textbook offers, but I like QTI. It uploads to Canvas pretty simple. So I'll export there real quick. Let's see. I want that to go to desktop and give it a new title. Just do exam 3, save. Export. I always export to desktop just because I can find it, because once you have it on Canvas, I honestly just delete it because you can always edit later. So once I have my file, my QTI file on the desktop, then I'm going to upload to Canvas, go to whatever course I'm wanting to add a quiz to. You want to select settings, import course content, select QTI file if that's what you uploaded it as. I have used the Blackboard before. I didn't like it. Some of the formatting didn't work out. Doesn't mean it won't work out for you, but didn't for me. So QTI, you got to go find the file now. So browse. I saved mine on the desktop. You don't have to. Exam 3, open. I personally always start a new question bank. My opinion, I think that's very important because I run my files or my finals based off of all the previous questions I've already had. I'll kind of show you that once I'm done here. So right now, I think I did a intro to electrical was the test I pulled. So import that in. It'll take a little bit to load here, so don't move on until it's completed, otherwise you won't find it. All right, so what I did is I brought that in as a, go to quizzes, just a second, as a question bank. You'll notice there's not a quiz yet. That's because I brought it in as a question bank, as you saw me do, and I'll show you why here in a minute. Come in here, you can edit it now. Intro to electrical. Once again, this is still not creating the quiz itself. This is editing the bank, editing the questions inside the bank, things like that. Open it up. You can actually come in here and you can actually change questions. If there's questions you don't like, maybe one of them has the wrong answer, you can change the answer. Just edit the questions individually. And you can type in a new question, type in new answers, whatever you want to do. And then make sure you hit that update question button down there at the bottom of each question, otherwise it will not save. Once you've finished editing the test however you want, add questions, take away questions, change answers, whatever you want to do. Right up here is where you add questions. Basically that's it. You're done with uploading the quiz. The next step would be actually creating a quiz, so go back to your quizzes tab and add a quiz. Retitle this real quick as soon as my page loads. Intro to electrical. I always time mine, and in the next video I do, I'll show you how to moderate a quiz. So as your students are taking a quiz, you can always add time to somebody who's not going to complete in time, if that's something you choose to do, if they have something set up with the front office, whatever. But this way, at the end of our 2-year program, they have a test that is timed. So I like putting that time into my quizzes. I didn't pay attention to how many questions that was. I'll guess, we'll say 20 questions, which just happens to be a minute per quiz. Now, at the beginning of 2 years, I typically add time to students' time frame, because the whole point of leaving this time here is just so I can train them for what to expect at the end of their 2 years, but you don't have to do that. There's all kinds of options in here if you haven't ever played with them. You can allow multiple attempts. So let's say I want to give them 2 attempts on this test because it's a hard test. And then do I want to let them see their quiz responses? When do I want to let them see? Right away, later? I don't let mine see the correct answers. I let them see the answers that they chose. I don't let them see the correct answers, just because I like to have them look them up in the tool, in the whatever that thing's called, the textbook. There we go, the textbook. Once they're done, show one question at a time if you choose to, or you can just have one screen with all the questions on it. Doesn't really matter. That's up to you, personal opinion. Set your due date, available, close time, stuff like that. I typically save here just simply because I know it's what I want, and then I just go back into edit. You don't have to. You can just go straight to questions tab if you choose to. So then you go to questions. All right, so the whole reason I created a question bank instead of just a straight quiz is because with a question bank, you can add a new question group, title it Intro to Electrical, and I can have it pick however many questions, 20 questions, out of the question bank that I created, or I can have it pick 10 questions. That way, basically, it's always going to pull from this question bank that I created, which is 16 questions, I guess. Select bank, 16 questions. Let's say I only want to do 15 of those questions. Now this does 2 things. A, it completely randomizes the order that the students get the question in, which really helps with, people who like to look at each other's screens, stuff like that. They're not always looking at the same question at the same time. So it randomizes the order, as well as you can make it so that it doesn't pick all of the same questions. So maybe you want a question bank of 400 questions, and it's going to pick 15 random questions out of that, or anything like that. I typically set mine, I upload the questions I want, and then I just pick 16 questions from it. That way it's just a random list. After you're done, just hit create group, and then save and publish. Make sure you publish, otherwise students don't have access to it. And then once again, we'll come in here and make sure everything worked out right. Go to preview. And question 1, looks like it all went through, looks great. So if you'll notice my first question in a series circuit, there are multiple loads. That's this time, but if I were to back out and go back in, it's got a different question at the top. So it's just a random order. That same question, if I were to scroll through here, it's still in here. It's just in a different order. That way I don't have neighbors peeking at each other's computer screens. Kind of convenient. All right, as far as uploading quizzes, kind of adjusting stuff, that's pretty much it for this video. I'll do another video on moderating and reviewing and analyzing student answers, stuff like that. Make sure everything was fair, equal, blah, 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 all that fun stuff in the next video. All right, thank you.